welcome to CHeri Knits. I love knitting and I want you to love it too. I also love Mattress Stitch, and there's a lot of different ways you can use it to seam your things together in your knitting. Today we're going to look at Stockinette Stitch, going from the side of your fabric to the top of your fabric. Let's get started. All right, now we're going to take a look at Mattress Stitch, still in Stockinette Stitch, but we're going to go from the side of the fabric to the top of the fabric. This might happen if you're making a sweater and you have a sleeve that needs to be set in. At least a portion of it will be the top of the fabric that has to be seamed to the rows, the side of the fabric. And that happens at a slightly different ratio. Even though this piece is the same size, your stitch count for rows is different than your stitch count for the stitches going across. So let's set ourselves up here. We want to turn it so that the right sides are facing up and we can work from right to left as we go across. And I'm going to thread the yarn on the needle, and I left a nice long tail here so that I can use it to work across. If you didn't leave a long tail when you finished, you can add yarn in, that's fine, but it's nice to anticipate that you're going to be seaming and leave a nice long tail because it just has a little more structure. It's a little sturdier. So I'm going to come over here and grab what feels like the corner of this piece and just go through it from the bottom up. And then I'm going to start working back and forth from one side of the fabric to the other. Since even though these pieces are the same size, may not look like it because this bound off edge is pulling in just a little bit. But since I'm going to be picking up these stitches at a slightly different rate, it's not just a 1-to-1 ratio, I'm going to use some locking stitch markers and pin things together before I get started. This is especially helpful if you're doing this along a pretty large area, if you've got a long ways to go. So what I would do is just take another locking stitch marker, and you can just guesstimate what the center is. And that's probably enough for that, so that you don't get all the way over here and you're way off in your picking up. So I have a video that shows how to pick up top to top. I have one that's side to side, and now we're going to look at top to side. So since I came out of this side before, I'm going to come over and grab this side and grab the stitch closest to the bound off edge, or it could be your cast on edge, but it's one stitch in, and you grab both sides of the stitch, and it looks upside down because this piece is upside down, and go ahead and go right through. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 strands of the side, and then come over here and grab that one stitch, but it's 2 strands. Every stitch has 2 strands. And then when I come back here, I might just grab 1 strand. And just take a look as you're going. You can stop every once in a while and see how you're doing. And it looks like 2 strands would be appropriate here. And then grab 1 strand over here. And it looks like I can comfortably grab 2, and it's not going to pucker or do anything weird. And then stop every 3 or 4 stitches on each side and give it a good pull. So that lays really nice right there. Now we have to do the rest of it. So pull it apart just a little bit so that you can see what's going on. And you came up out of this side last, so you're going to go down into the stitch, over, grab both sides of the stitch, and then 2 here, and then 1 stitch here. Now I can see I have 2 stitches before I get to the safety pin, and I have 4 strands. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 strands because I want to get to that safety pin at roughly the same rate on both sides. There we go. And so once you get to the safety pin, take it out and continue going across. Feel free to use as many of these locking stitch markers or safety pins that you need to as you're working across to help you stay on track. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the corner and give this a tug, and look how nice that smooths out. And then you would just continue working across. And that's how to put rows to stitches when you use Mattress Stitch. Hey, thanks for watching today. Please help me grow my channel by sharing these videos with all your friends. Thanks.